I really like this one. I got this off Amazon. It was quite affordable, to be honest, which I do like with stuff like this. And then what I do is I start to overline the lips and make them larger than they should be. Which you can see kind of just changes the entire shape. And I'm sorry about the noises in the background, if you can hear them. My tortoise just decided she likes to interrupt my content. So as you can see, the lips like an entirely different shape at this point. And then I start working on the top, which is more difficult compared to the bottom. I think that's quite a nice tone because it fits with the character quite well. And then what I do is I get like this glittery lip topper, which comes in the set. And then I kind of put like the lines of the lip shape in. So it's more prominent in certain areas, but then I pat it out, which gives it a more realistic kind of dimension to it. And then the fun part is adding the highlighter, which I really enjoy. So I'll do that now. The highlighter I like to use is actually called a Beaming Blush, which I don't know if that's technically a highlighter or a blush, but you can't tell me that that ain't like some kind of gorgeous highlighter. And it just works for what I want to do. So what I do is I get my contour brush, which I use for powdered foundation, blush, contour and highlighter. And then it helps me just slowly pull it out in the shapes I want. Which I suppose you can see some properties of what you would see in a blush on certain angles, because it kind of has that pinkish tone as well as like silver, gold. It's beautiful. And I think this one's my favourite, personally, because it's just so workable with anything. Like, it's good for characters, but then you could also use this in everyday if you really wanted. And then what I like to do is just get a little bit on my finger and put it under the eyebrow, because then it kind of brings that attention as if to say, here's my eyebrow, not down there. So it's kind of like a distraction from your real eyebrow. I go in with some of the contour if you would like, if that's your kind of style. And then kind of pull these little lines down on the face and slowly pull them, and then it starts to kind of look more natural. I don't know why she's being so noisy today. She's just deciding. Yes, so as you can see, that kind of pulls it together in the way that I was saying. Bloody hell, sweetheart. And now all I need to do is put the clothes on and put my wig on, and you'll see the finished look. So yes, right, stunning. Oh yeah, and don't forget your hairbrush. It always comes in handy somehow. I usually use a wig cap because it helps kind of keep it all in place. But if you know me well enough, you know how dozy I am. So I have no idea where I put the wig cap, which is kind of concerning. And all this hair's a mess. So I just gotta keep going with it and persevere whenever I do this character. So they're alright at the front. It's more the sides, and they look really messy at the top, but it's good because I'm getting a scarf on in a minute, so that'll hide that. Silence, my darling. You're being too bloody noisy, darling. Bloody hell, sweetheart. Oh, darling. You'll have the neighbours knocking on the door again. Bloody hell, sweetheart. I've never known little Mo to be so bloody noisy, darling. There we go. Oh, that kind of, yeah, that works, that works. So it's just a case of sometimes readjusting things with characters and making it, bloody hell, making it work in the way you want it to. So for this look, it's the hair roller look. I enjoy adjusting it and changing it so that the character's perfect whenever I'm ready to go on as that character then. So I've got a loose hair at the back, and what I'll do with that is I'll hide it with just one roller on its own. But this character's not necessarily the most prim and proper, which makes it a lot easier for things like this, because then all I have to do is kind of just, even if it's slightly messy, it's that adjustment that you just make at the end that kind of has that finishing look. As you can bloody see, sweetheart. Put my scarf on and everything. Oh, sorry, bloody hell. Which, I don't know how to do that. I'm gonna have to go from underneath. Or like this. And then kind of a bit like this, maybe around the side. So then it's it's kind of covering my hair in the way I want it to. Bloody hell, darling. Bloody hell, sweetheart. Oh. And then I can just tie it around itself. And then it can be in its own little pattern. Like this. Roots. Bloody hell, sweetheart. You got more hair than Billy Goat's gruff, Deadwings, darling. You can't say I ain't the queen of TikTok, sweetheart. I'm the queen of bloody YouTube, darling. Don't none of you come for me, darling. Roots. But no, I love the process of it. It's fun. I enjoyed the getting ready part. It would be less noisy if a certain somebody, darling, stopped scratching on the cage, darling. Carry on scratching, sweetheart, and I'll send the footage to the RSPCA, darling. You stopped then, didn't you, Roots? They say that tortoises don't hear anything. Yes, they bloody do. You can't tell me she didn't just hear that then, Roots. She's gone quiet now. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for joining me in this process. And I think that it's nice to kind of show you guys what I do and the work that goes into it off camera sometimes. Sometimes I go live and do the makeup, but I feel like this is more in depth and it's allowed me to take the time I would normally take. I think that this channel will be fun. It'll allow me to communicate with you guys a lot more, reach a further audience, and you know, if you're on TikTok as well, you can come in and check out my lives whenever I'm live. I need to set up a schedule for that, so that'll be getting arranged at some point, but I think it's nice that I can now expand on what I do, and maybe we'll go on adventures or whatever, I don't know. But I can show you the processes of this. I can show you me as a person, as an artist, away from the characters and the work that goes behind everything that I do. And I like that aspect of it because it kind of lets you have an insight into the processes for me, my art is my lifestyle. This is part of my art. The paintings and photography and digital work I do is my art. So I think it's nice because you kind of get an insight into me as a person and not just a character, and I can speak to you more openly and just more laid back, and I can just not worry about necessarily being judged on a live stream when I'm talking, because sometimes I like to talk, but when I'm in character on a live stream, sometimes the trolls just assume that you're not a person at that point and you don't get treated like a person off them. And that don't really bother me, you know. Like, some things can bother you, but I think you need to have thick skin to be able to cope with trolls.